Previously in Goldspire. If you thought the circus was where things got strange, you haven't seen anything yet. As they arrived closer into town, we were greeted by a strange moving picnic basket. A rat covered in bramble pie transformed in front of us, and stood a man clad in green armour and a sigil that read the Green Guard, Protectors of Goldspire. His name? Branth Everblade. A new recruit to the guard and clearly still trying to find his feet. He was sweet. He welcomed us to town and pointed us in the direction of a small stall approaching the market square. The stall was run by a beautiful halfling woman known as Miss Darcy, and she also happened to be the owner of the biggest tavern in town, the Celeste Tavern. As we secured our goodies and bramble pie, we continued on the path to town. But of course it wouldn't be that easy. A large guard cart filled with potential criminals lost control, crashing headfirst into us, and poor Maeve got the brunt of it, crushed beneath the cart. It's okay though, she lived, thanks to Elwyn healing her, but now they faced the dilemma of watching criminals escape before their very eyes. Like good wannabe heroes, they couldn't let that happen and began chasing after the criminals that darted into the nearby forest. They managed to immobilise one or two, and the Green Guard began swarming in to help. However, Lemon, face to face with one of the criminals, locked eyes and had a change of heart, as did Maeve. For whatever reason, they both let those criminals go. Who knows why or what the consequence of that may be. Finally getting into the city square of Goldspire, a sigh of relief, but it didn't last long. Townsfolk are very good at spotting outsiders, and so are the kids who roam the street. A quick pair of hands, a flash of scales, and suddenly the party found themselves chasing a young lizard boy, little Gordon, through the winding streets. A petty thief, or so it seemed, but in a city already steeped in illusion and half-truths, nothing stays simple for long. The chase led them somewhere unexpected, a place that should have felt safe, the Celeste Tavern. A warm light spilled from its windows, laughter echoing faintly from within, a sanctuary, perhaps, from everything they had already endured. It was supposed to be a place to rest. Instead, it became something else entirely. Inside, the atmosphere felt off. The tavern was occupied, yes, drunken patrons slumped over tables, murmuring into their cups, but something was missing. Or rather, someone. The owner, a charming halfling woman known as Miss Darcy, was nowhere to be found. In her place stood only a barkeep, Doran, whose presence brought with it more questions than comfort. Because the moment the party stepped inside, he recognised them. Or rather, recognised her. Maevonna, he said, as though it were the most natural thing in the world. As though she had always belonged there, as though she had never left, and he told her to get back to work. Confusion rippled through the group. This was a city they did not know, a place none of them remembered, and yet here was a man speaking to one of them like an old friend, or a colleague of an employee who had abandoned her post. The pressure mounted, the weight of expectation, the subtle, creeping insistence that perhaps this was real. And so, against her better judgment, Maevonna went upstairs to search, to remember. Elwyn followed close behind, unwilling to let her face whatever waited alone. But the moment he reached the top of the stairs, everything changed. A shadow moved. A figure emerged, tall, dark, silent. Before a word could be spoken, before a spell could be cast, Elwyn fell, struck down in an instant. His body crumpled, tumbling down the stairs with a sickening thud that echoed through the tavern below. Octavius and Lemon turned towards the sound, and towards the top of the staircase they saw Maevonna, standing there, still, silent. A bloodied candlestick clutched in her hand, smiling. But here's the truth. It wasn't her, because further down the corridor, hidden from sight, the real Maevonna watched in horror. She saw it, she felt it, as though she were both inside her body and trapped outside of it. an unwilling witness to her own reflection committing violence in her name, a perfect mirror, a twisted imitation, a doppelganger. What followed was not battle, it was choice. Two Maeves stood before the party, identical in face, identical in voice, but only one was real. And in a world where memory itself cannot be trusted, how do you decide? Who do you save? Who do you condemn? Steel was drawn and magic stirred, the air thickened with tension, because one truth loomed over them all. They might have to kill her, but they didn't. Instead of striking the final blow, the party chose something far more difficult. They chose compassion. They chose to listen. And what they discovered changed everything. The creature, the reflection, the imitation was not driven by malice. It was trapped, bound. A victim of someone else's magic, someone else's mistake. And all it wanted was to be free. And so they broke the chains, and in doing so, nearly lost everything. As the magic unravelled, the real Maevonna collapsed, her body entangled in twisting vines, her life slipping through her fingers at the cost of that freedom. Moments from death, the room heavy with the quiet panic of a fight they had only just ended and might yet not be over. And then, from the shadows, came Gordon. The small lizard boy emerged from the pantry, clutching a tray of donuts like an offering, a peace gesture, a desperate attempt to prove himself useful to the people he had chosen to trust, to help, to belong. But fear is a powerful thing, and panic even more so. As Gordon reached for Maevonna, his cold, scaled hands brushing against her throat, Lemon reacted out of instinct, desperation. She couldn't stand and watch a child put an end to someone in front of her. She pulled him away, but too fast, too hard. And in that moment, something impossible happened. Gordon's claws tore across Maevonna's neck, but no blood came. Instead, gold. A shimmering liquid light spilled from the wound, glowing with an otherworldly brilliance that no mortal body should possess. And from within that golden fracture, something emerged from the wound. A dragon. Yes, an actual dragon. Small, coiled, yet very much alive, born from within her. The room fell silent, because whatever Maevonna was, whatever had been done to her, was far from over. And just when it seemed like the night could offer no more horrors, the door opened. A figure stepped inside, cloaked, armoured, regal in a way that demanded attention without asking for it. She moved with purpose, with control. Jolene Brashmont, a name tied to power, to legacy, the sister of Branth Everblade, someone the party had already crossed paths with. But Jolene was something else entirely. She belonged to the Whispers Guild, an organisation that lived in the shadows, protected the city not in daylight but in darkness. Some called them assassins, others called them guardians, but perhaps they are somewhere in between. She spoke of rising tension within Goldspire, of the Vintari Adventuring Guild growing desperate as their funding from the Golden Bureau began to collapse, of power shifting, and through it all, her attention lingered on Maevonna. But before answers could be given, before alliances could be formed, violence returned. The tavern doors burst open, figures flooded in, rogues fast, ruthless, and they did not hesitate. Jolene was struck first, thrown hard against the wall as the fragile calm of the room shattered once more into chaos. Steel rang, magic flared, and the party, battered and broken from everything that had come to pass already, were given no time to rest. Because in Goldspire, the night never truly ends, and whatever is happening to them is only just beginning.